conditions were like and all that, and it's just to kind of get an idea of the diaspora, why we all left, when we all left, and just what was happening in Ireland at the time, you know? Okay, so we graduated in 91, Pauline.
Did we?
We did, just in case you wondered.
Yes, I take your word first.
Because, you know what, there's times when I'm like, was it 91 or 92? It was 91.
Because that 20-year anniversary, isn't it?
That's right, which I have no interest in going to. Maybe the 25th, I think 20 is a little bit too young yet.
Yeah.
But, so in 1991, now some of the questions I'm going to ask you, you'll know I know the answers to, but I just have to have the quotes from you, right? So in 1991, where did you go on from UCG?
I stayed in UCG.
Right.
I did a further degree.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was the further degree?
I did the LLB.
Right.
And then I went from there to eventually to the apprenticeship and qualified as solicitor.
Okay. And how long did that whole process take?
Believe it or not, it took the best part of, now let me see, that was 1991 and I qualified in 99. Mm-hmm. So I took 2 more years to do my degree.
Yeah.
My LLB. So I was up to 93.
Yeah.
And then I went to America for a year.
Right.
And then I came back, and I think it took me a year or so, maybe a little bit more, before I got the apprenticeship.
Right.
Before I could secure an apprenticeship, because it was really hard at the time.
Right.
And then I qualified in January 99.
So you were fully qualified in January 99. Why was it difficult to get an apprenticeship at the time, Pauline?
Purely because of the economics. There was no work really in Ireland at the time. And the boom hadn't kicked in until closer to 99, 2000.
Right.
And during the 90s it was hard enough to get work, especially apprenticeships. They were really, really difficult to get.
Right. So even though we keep hearing about that the boom started in like 1994, 1995, you weren't feeling the effects of it in your profession?
No. Okay. And I was working in a solicitor's office in 94, 95. Right. And there was no boom in 94, 95.
Yeah.
There was no property boom, definitely.
Right.
It was later, it wasn't until around 99, 98, 99 that house prices started to go up.
Right. What were you doing in the solicitor's office? Was that in Galway, Pauline?
Yes.
Okay. And what were you doing?
Doing my apprenticeship.
Yeah. That you'd have a feel for what was happening among houses and stuff like that.
Well, I started off first doing like secretarial type work.
Right.
But then I was doing the basic work of conveying a house. Right. Before I qualified, I could do that. Right. But under the tutelage of my master.
Right.
Yeah. So while I would be doing the work, it was my boss's name that was on the paperwork.
Right.
If you understand.
Right. Now you mentioned that when you finished your LLB, Pauline, that you went to America for 1 year. Mm-hmm. Was unemployment still there in Ireland? Because we're talking now about 93, 94, when supposedly the boom was happening, but we couldn't see it. Why did you go to America that year?
Well, purely because I wanted to.
Right.
I wanted to spend a year in America with Margaret. I had a green card at the time.
Right.
I went to the States purely to earn some money before I'd go back to do the apprenticeship.
Right.
And because I needed some money, because I knew I was going to be earning so little as an apprentice.
Right.
Yeah.
So you came back to Ireland, you got your apprenticeship, and you were fully qualified by 1999. From 1999 onwards, can you tell me what differences you saw in Ireland that contributed to this so-called boom? I mean, did you see more houses going up?
The boom was purely property.
It was purely property?
Yeah.
Did it affect your profession at all?
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Of course it did, because there was plenty of work for us solicitors at that time because of the property boom.
Right.
Yeah.
And why, when you left, where are you now, Pauline, living? Where is your full-time residence? Tenerife.
In the Canary Islands.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
2 years.
2 years. What made you pack up and leave 2 years ago? Did you see something that was...
Yes, I saw the end of the boom.
So, and how did that manifest itself?
Well, we had sorry, not. Hold on a second. Matt, come away from fire then. Go away. Away from fire. Leave it alone. Yeah, leave it alone, Matt. No. Come away. You'll get burned. Leave it alone. Don't touch the fire. Sorry, Matt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Jesus, don't let the child get burnt, for God's sake.
You can't resist being at the range.
Oh.
We had a B&B.
Yeah, I remember.
And because of the property boom, the government had given tax incentives to hotels, for new hotels to be built. So there's lots of new hotels all around the country.
Right.
It's pretty much killed off the B&B industry.
Right.
But we had managed to sell our house, and I had, when Daniel was 2 years of age, which was in 2005.
Yeah.
The end of 2005, I took a career break because I wanted to be at home with Daniel while he was small, and we still had the B&B. So 2 years later, we sold the B&B.
Yeah.
But by then, it was difficult to get back into legal work because the end was near when the boom, right? And we were looking at buying a different business, but it didn't work out because banks were no longer lending money.
Right.
So because we didn't see ourselves having an awful lot of options here at the time, we decided to go to Tenerife.
Okay. So you because you were in the service industry, you actually saw the end quicker than anybody else did.
Yes, I did. Yeah, exactly that. Plus, we were trying to sell our house.
Yeah.
And it was in a very prestigious location, and we were told that it would sell, no problem, etc. And we were very, very lucky to sell it after 2 years of having it on the market.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Why Tenerife, Pauline? Why did you choose Tenerife?
We had been there for 10 years previous, and Johnny wanted us to move there then, and I wouldn't, because I had just qualified at the time, and I thought, no, I haven't put in all that effort to move to Tenerife because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Then we had friends that lived there, and they were telling us what a great place it was to live, etc. And we thought, well, okay, he wanted to move, and we went to have another look at it, and we said, yeah, we thought we could go live there, so we've made the move. Okay.
The interesting part of this now, Pauline, is you're actually probably one of the first group of the third wave of immigrants to leave, right? That's what's very, very interesting, is that it was such a short boom. And really, let's face it, you were getting ready to leave with us in 91.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And then the boom picked up, and literally you're talking about, we didn't even see the boom in 94 or 95.
Yeah.
So it was even less than a 10-year boom.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was all property-driven, rather.
Yeah.
Because the government were making so much money from stamp duty on property transactions that they did nothing to cool the situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have lived through the day.
Yeah.
Because on the news the whole time, the economists were talking about making changes to the stamp duty regime at the time, and they refused to do it because it was a cash cow.
Yes.
And now there's no activity and there's no revenue from stamp duty. So as if they hadn't been so greedy at the time, maybe the boom could have been sustained, but at a different pace.
Yeah, yeah.
So they sacrificed, manufacturing industry and all of that in order to grant planning permission for, properties that shouldn't have ever been built.
Right, yeah. And Pauline, when you immigrated, let's say that the year that you immigrated then officially was in 2005. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
2 years ago. 2009.
Yeah.
Okay, so you immigrated in 2009.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more difficult for you to immigrate then?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And why?
Definitely. Because I moved to a country where they speak another language, right? Mm-hmm. But that was by choice, right? There's English and Spanish, right? But I moved with my children, right? And it's so difficult when you don't know the systems that are in place in order to provide for children, really.
Yeah.
You are liable to, make the wrong choices.
Right.
But when you're moving on your own, you only have yourself to worry about.
Yeah.
So it is more difficult from that point of view.
Was it difficult to pack up and leave Ireland then with your whole family? I mean, what was it? What, can you just tell me briefly what your emotions were like? Your mom is still there.
I was a basket case. I was, and I still am.
Yeah.
Because I'm not happy that we moved, but I don't see any future for us to come back right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next question.
You know, there are solicitors, working at McDonald's and...
Really?
Yes, and other institutions of...
Yeah.
Yeah, like guilt, and so, I really don't see any future for Johnny and I back here at the present.
Yeah. Do you think, Pauline, that you'll ever move back to Ireland?
Oh, I hope to.
Yeah.
We tried to move back this summer, but it didn't work out. The properties that we wanted just didn't come our way. But I'm hoping that next year maybe we will.
Yeah, I hope so too for you guys. What were conditions like when you moved from Ireland to Tenerife 2 years ago? Would you say it was a better, conditions were better?
Doctor, yes. Marcus came with it. No. You wait outside there and Marcus came with it now, okay? You can't take it off in head, okay? Now, go on.
I'm just laughing because I've been there.
I'm referee between two contenders that are not mine.
Oh, God. Yeah.
There was a car, now it's shampoo.
Oh, good God. Look at you could give them a pencil and they'll fight over it. Purely because I still want. Were conditions better in Tenerife than Ireland in 2009?
Yes, they were. And to some extent they still are. Because people in Ireland are very preoccupied with the downturn. People in Tenerife, it's a tourist destination. People in Tenerife are more, upbeat.
Yeah.
So that does, filter through into lots of things, even though it's tough in Tenerife at the minute.
Yeah.
People in the service industry don't earn a lot of money in Tenerife.
Yeah.
So, that all filters through into other businesses or whatever,
Yeah.
But, tourist numbers are still up in Tenerife, and I think from that point of view, Tenerife has a future.
Yeah.
Ireland doesn't at the minute.
Yeah. That's tough going. That really is tough going.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the end of the